we will let it go, and we will add, without wasting time, we will add our contract class. Okay, within the contract class, just prefix pkr and whatever is your initials, and put the same name: retail, daily, stores, cust, pim, summary, contract. This is still a very long name, but what we can do now, we will just add this. Okay, so first of all, here we will make it public. All our classes will be public. Okay, so we will add a decorator, okay, for this contract, data contract attribute. Okay, we will also add a UI builder attribute along with this, but since our UI builder class is still not ready, so we will do this after we created the UI builder. So first of all, what we need here, as per our requirement of the format of the reports, we need these three parameters. So we will create three param methods for our contract class. So to start with, we will just declare the global variable of EDT type transdate, and on the same line we will declare as from date to date, and then we will create a list for the stores, because we will have a multi-select for stores. That's why we need here list. Otherwise, retail store ID EDT can be used for a single selection of stores. So next, what we'll do, we will create the param methods. So first of all, param for the from date. So to start with, public, the return type transdate, and then the pattern of the method name will be param, and the variable name like from date, and it will be camel case, means the first word of this phrase will be small letters, and then initial letter will be capital, from date and date for all the words. Then and the parameter transdate, and then here you put from date underscore from date. This is for the parameter. Always this is best practice to start with underscore and from date, and equals to from date means we are making this parameter optional when as used as getter. When setter, definitely you need to pass a parameter for this. So the format will be like from date equals to underscore from date. So if there is nothing, null value here, so it will not change anything. So if there is no from date pass, so it will return the from date here. So it will basically assign the local variable whatever the value is. So this is the param method pattern normally used. Okay, from date will be returned here. Once it is assigned, so it will be returned, or if it is not passed, so the existing one will return. So this will be the format, and then we will also decorate this method definitely. So for decoration, we will put here data member attribute. Okay, then we will put a sys operation label attribute, sys label, and here we will put a literal str. This will be from date. Okay, then sys operation help text attribute, literal str from date. Okay, then we'll have sys operation display order attribute. This attribute is basically used in order to sequence your fields when the dialog will appear. So I will put this as first in the sequence. Okay, so this is the complete param method now, and similarly we will copy paste this for the toDate. So but always remember, whenever you are copy pasting, you need to take care about the changes which are required, otherwise it will be messed up. So I will put here the toDate, and the sequence here will be 2, and here a quote is missing, and I think here also it is missing. We will put a quote, single quote, and now the names will be also changed here. This will be toDate, this also toDate, this also toDate, this also toDate. So all we have put here toDate. So this is also complete in quick way, and now the third one will be about the stores, and that one also we'll copy. We'll copy the same. We'll sequence 3, and here we will use the return type as list. So the same will be used in the parameter, and here we will use stores as a variable name and method name. Okay, so the stores just replace. So the method will accept list as a parameter and return also as a list. So also rename these label here, help text. So this is it. So this is our definition of contract class. So quickly just compile it so that if there are any error, it will appear now. Just build the project. Then we'll move ahead for the UI builder class. Okay, just select a class here and put a name, retail, daily, stores, cust, PIM, summary, UI builder. So this will be our, just check the spellings if there is any problem in spellings. As I mentioned, it should not be any typo. Also take care about batch services stop, because normally on the dev box, if it is running, it will take more time for you to rebuild your project. So always take care. Just press M and it will show you here. I have disabled the batch and data import export. So it will just increase the performance a bit. So just give it a name as public, and okay, so afterwards just extends, because this we will extend it from the SSRS report data contract UI builder in order to inherit the common features or properties or behavior. So that will be SSRS report data contract UI builder. So then what we'll need here, so also if I forget it, it's better to just use this one in our contract. In contract decorator, just put a comma here and copy paste this one, and then use a decorator of sys operation contract processing attribute, and here we will use class str, and our UI builder class name, which we have pasted here, I will put here, and two brackets. Okay, now this is the complete decorator, and it is just informing our contract class that you have another UI builder class to enhance your behavior. So now we will go to the UI builder here straight away, and in UI builder what we'll do is first we'll declare our contract class. So this will be our this class, and just put a variable name or object name, instance name basically, and dialog field which will be needed basically for the controls for from date, to date, and stores. Okay, and then we will need one container for our list of stores. So this will be called as stores con. Okay, so go ahead with our basically, since we have already inherited this contract UI builder, so we will have one build method, and for that build method we need to go insert override method in our menu, and from here we will select the build method. So what we'll need basically build method, and we will also need post build once dialog is built, so afterwards this functionality will be executed, and we'll also need the post run method, so that once it is run we will put functionality here, and then we will also need a lookup method. I will remove the documentation, but if you need the documentation you can also include the whatever the method is doing in your documentation. So okay, so to start with our build method, and we don't need the super here. Super means it will call the parents method, and we don't need that one. We need to basically override and use our own functionality. So what we'll be using here, the contract object or instance, this will be instantiated here and assigned to this dot data contract object, okay, as pkr. We will use here our own contract class, so I will copy paste. Okay, then we will use from date, and in this from date this dot add dialog field, method, and then here what we'll use the basically method str, so it will be the contract class param from date, and then pass the second parameter which will be our contract instance. So in this way I will just show you. Okay, so similar for the two parameter, I will use this to date parameter here, and also for stores I will use the stores dialog field, and this is in order to basically linking or adding a dialog field into this one. So also we will use here the same contract. I will just copy from here in order to shorten our time of developing param stores. So this is the method name we use for the stores. So in this way, we have basically initialized the contract instance or object, and then from date and to date and stores basically are using the contract instance and the method str in order to build the dialog field. Okay, once we have done this, then we'll move to the post build method. In post build method, just after the super call to the parents method, parent class method, we will just bind our stores list, and this will be this dot bind info method, and then we'll get dialog field, and then we'll pass the instance of our contract, and then here we'll use the field name, and field name in our case is basically param. It will be basically method str we will put here our contract class name and param stores. Here we will end the statement. Okay, after this we will use one if condition, that if stores is returned, then lookup button will always show. Okay, so from lookup button, here it will be always. Okay, so lookup button will be shown. Okay, so next is stores. We will basically override the standard lookup with our lookup method, and this I will hold now until I write my lookup method. And then the post run is basically we will not need this post run, so I will remove this. Okay, so to start with lookup method, I will make this access modifier as private because it will be used only within this method. However, if you want to use it separately as a static method or public static, so it is up to you. So then lookup stores will pass one form string control. This is our own lookup method for the multi-select of the stores. So for the for calling the syslookup multi-select grid static method, it is necessary to build a query and then pass the form string control, and then to pass a container which we have already globally declared. So what we'll do here, we'll create a query object, and initialize this to the query class. Then we'll build a query build data source and qbds, just indentation, perform the indentation. Okay, then qbds equals to make query dot add data source. Runtime, we will be adding the table to as a data source. So since we will need the store table, which is retail store table, because all our store listing is contained in this table, so we will add this as a data source. Then what will show as a stores, what field we need to show in our lookup, that will be added here, qbds dot add selection field num, and we'll put here retail store table, store number, Okay, now we will put syslookup multi-select grid, and then we'll call the static method of lookup. So this will be basically, this class is syslookup multi-select grid class is having this static method, and the parameter is obviously this query which we have built here. Okay, so this query will pass, and the parameter of control, that is where we need to build our lookup, that is store field. Basically we will pass all these same instance or same field 3 times, and then we will pass the container. So our container name is stores container. So all the selected stores will be contained in this container. So this is our lookup method, and now I will use this here to override the existing lookup method. For that, I will just provide it with the method str that we are basically overriding, and that is form string lookup. This is the standard lookup method name. Then we'll provide it with our lookup method name, and for that, since we have implemented in our UI builder class, we will need to give our UI builder class name here, because method str parameter, first parameter for this method is the class name, and then the name of our lookup method, which is lookup stores, we will use here. Then we'll pass the object here, and object will be basically the same, this object for the current instance or current classes instance. So this will be this. So this is our UI builder class, and I think this is almost completed. We have created 3 methods, basically 2 overridden method. One is build method, where we have defined basically what fields we will need, and we are basically not using the build of our contract. We are using in UI builder because we need to override the third one, which is called stores third field, and we need to provide to the end user the multi-select lookup, where they can select multiple stores name or all stores name instead only of one store name. So then we have used post build to override the lookup method, and we have also binded the field here. So, and then we have used this one to override the method, override the existing lookup method, and this is our own lookup method, which is basically using this is lookup multi-select grid control, and we have basically created a query which is necessary in order to build the lookup in a grid way. So this query is here passed, and here we have initialized it. Here we have added a table containing the values which will be shown in the lookup, that is retail store table. So once it is there, then we have also provided it which field need to show within the lookup, which is store number only we have included here. Okay, so now the lookup will be shown here. So also there is one more approach here, which is basically if we can see here, there is also a view. If you go to data model, and because retail store table does not contain the store name, it is basically in dir party table. So for that we can go to the retail store view. So this one, if you open it, if you can see here, store number and name is also shown here. So if it will be good idea if you will show along with the store number the name also. This will be a very good idea. So I think I will replace this retail store view. So what we'll need to do, retail store view, here we'll just put retail store view, and we can use it same like a table. And here we will put the name of store view. So then we'll add another same statement, but here what we'll do, we will use the name field. So it will show two fields basically, store number and name in this lookup. So just compile it. If there is any problem, just build. So almost okay, so it is giving me error, non-class, because now if we see here, this is in application suite. So we'll check whether we have referred it or not. Okay, so we will select our PKR model here, PKR model, and then we will go to the application suite and it is referred, but somehow it is giving us error. So no problem, we will just revert it to the retail store table. Method str. Okay, so the problem is basically one minute. Let's look up element. Retail store view. The problem is retail store view, 1 minute. Retail store view, stored num. Yeah, it is basically stored num. Okay, now the problem is the form string control argument or method str does not specify a non-class. So there is a typo here. It is a form string control. So basically a typo can give you a tough time if you are not considering the spelling mistakes. In my case also the same. Okay, so now I think the view is also accepted, and this typo is also I have removed. So now we are done with the UI builder and contract.